Okay, so I'm just doing a quick little video about some Orianna mechanics, mostly about controlling her ball, right? First of all, want to shout out Coach Curtis because, well, I don't know, he came up with a lot of these concepts, a lot of these ideas, and he helped show them to me. I just want more Orianna specific content out there. I don't I don't really see a lot, right? And Orianna is unique because, well, all of her abilities come from her ball, right? And her Q and her E are the only way to position the ball. And you can't use abilities while the ball is traveling, and the ball is actually kind of slow when you use it from like a really far range. So it's not quite like you kind of like you need to poke with it and stay at range, but you can't like really have the range of even, let's say, like a victory, right? Like victory is just way easier to hit at range. It's just like kind of have to get like creative. Now I'm gonna quality YouTube content here. Okay, so look, like let's get into the psychology of how laners react to the ball, right? Typically, people try to get away because if they don't move out of the way, um if they don't get away, it's easy poke for you, right? And then so what I've noticed in my games is that there's a little bit of like a dance even with the ball. So they're leaning topside, IQW them, and then that's when they start moving down, right? And that's when I back up a little bit because I don't have cooldowns, and then when my Q cooldown is about to get up, I start walking forward a little bit, starting to position. And so it's kind of like a little dance of getting your opponent to go up, down, up, down, up, down in the lane, right? And so I've just had plenty of instances where if my opponent doesn't move away from the ball, it's just easy poke when the Q comes up in like 5-6 seconds, right? And if they do, it makes it harder to hit the ball, but now they might not be quite in the best position. And typically I see them also move back a lot, which hooray gives me priority in the lane. That's always good, right? And so none of these oh, looky here, this one's loading. This one's loading. Let's try and get to like actual laning phase. Let's get a little bit into it. Okay, well. Okay, yeah, that's great. Please, I just want to find a moment. Okay, look. Syndra is sitting in the queue, and it's just kind of easy for him to just hit stuff, right? Like, just look at that. Syndra's not moving from the queue. I mean, she was willing to trade resources like HP to shove that wave in, I guess, but like, if you see there, Syndra didn't move. Easy skill shots. And now Nadoba just doesn't want to get hit by stuff. And I say that immediately he gets hit, like really holding Q more than I thought he would. And look, now Syndra has to move away from it and back. Other side of lane and back. And so yeah, and then Syndra's just really not allowing Dopa to Q a lot, but you saw what that Syndra did. She moved. If I can rewind there. Up. Up into the other side. Oh no. We can get on to some more stuff. So just pretty much play with that. Try to change up your patterns. Whoa, what was that? Change up your patterns. Do good that way. Walk up just before Q's on. Like just play around with it, because they'll typically walk back because they don't like taking poke for free. It hurts them. If they walk forward, well, they're just making it easy to hit your Q anyways, right? And right now, I want to talk about R's, because my worst experiences with Orianna have come when I'm missing R. If you're not hitting R, just go play Syndra. Just like Syndra has a point and click R. Just go play Syndra, right? Orianna has an amazing R. If you're ahead, just melts. Well, even if you're not ahead, if you just get to your spikes, it melts people, right? Sets up amazing plays. So it's really important that you hit it. I know that's a crazy concept. And so during lull states are the times in the game where like really have nothing to do. When you're walking back from base, right? When you're dead. That's a common one, right? Even after you've like shoved the wave and you're moving back, right? Those are all a little bit like of lull states that you can use to kind of just like think. like actually think, because when you're laning, you don't really have time to think. You're busy laning. So, for Orianna, it's really important that you use your low states to see how can my opponents get out of my R, because there's a little bit of activation time there, right? A little bit of a wind-up time before the R actually activates, and it feels awful when everyone gets out of it, right? So, just use your low states to think, does my opponent have stopwatch? Do they have a dash? Does the ADC have dash? Is there flash up? Back flash timers, all of that, and just kind of think, right? It's also kind of important. You don't have to rush R's. You'll have several opportunities in a fight, right? So you don't really have to like rush your R's. You don't need to hit the perfect R. You just need to hit like a pretty good R. And oftentimes, especially if you're not like if you're playing below like a really high level, like people are gonna forget stuff. People aren't gonna play perfectly. You'll have plenty of opportunities to use R, so you can hold it. Look for great opportunities, not perfect R's, right? Because if you wait for the perfect R, like because there's a spectrum. You either rush R and that's bad, or you wait for the perfect R and that's just as bad, right? So, yeah. So there's like a spectrum here. Oh, I want to change that color, like a little bit too blue, you know? I want to change the color, because if you are like the first person you see, like one person, you might not be getting the best value here. If you try to save your for like a 5-man R, this happens rarely. This should happen rarely, and you're aiming for 3. 3 is a good amount. If you can get 3 people in an R and have follow up, and like your team is actually in a position to follow up on that CC and damage, that's great right there, right? Even if it's like a 2-man R, but your team can like really follow up on it, that might be worth it. So it's really important to save your R for when like your team can actually follow up. Oh, this is one of my favorite things. So so what you can do is, right? Let's change some colors up. You can no, you can't even see that, can you? Oh no, that's awful to look at. Okay, look. That's it. Let's just keep it this color. So you have your ball, right? And it's a team fight. So you got Orianna here. You got an Olaf. You got, I don't know, like a Jinx. And so your Olaf is kind of up here. This is your ball, right? You're dancing in the range of the ball, and then you've got the enemy team coming here. You got like a Tom. I hate playing versus Tom. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but like, oh, that HP, the CC that he has. Anyways, maybe they have like, I'm trying to think. Maybe like a Rek'Sai. Although if like a Rek'Sai is coming straight at you, I mean, maybe that's not the best Rek'Sai. You know, like a Kaisa, a Rackoul, right? So what'll typically happen is you keep your ball right here. The Rackoul is going to engage. The Olaf's gonna go in, right? Like the Tom will probably jump here, so you kind of gotta dodge. But like typically, people will walk over and forget as the fight moves on, because as Orianna, you want to kite back, right? As you're running, because these guys engage, right? What's gonna happen is they're going to forget the ball's here. They're going to walk over it. Right? It's happened so many times. You just leave it still. You don't use Q, you don't use W for a little bit. Because in team fights, they're looking for moving objects. They're like a T-Rex. As long as it's not moving, they don't really see it. Something else, I don't know, I just really like that. So they just don't expect it. They don't even see the ball after a while, right? If they're in the middle of a team fight, they're thinking about so many things. They're not using low states correctly. Boom. That's how you get them. Here's another one. Hold the ball in the choke. So you just like, you're sitting here, your ball's over here. This is, I don't know, some play like the blue side jungle, right? Like these are the walls, right? Thin wall. This is the blast cone plant over here, right? We got dragon pit over here. Rar. For dragon, right? And if you just hold your ball here, they cannot go through here. they'll either have to like go through the blast cone, they'll have to go up through bottom lane, they'll have to go up through here, they'll have to pick a different angle, but they cannot cross through here. And if they weren't prepared for the dragon and they didn't get vision, they didn't get the proper angles, they just simply cannot pass through. You are literally just stopping them. And if someone does pass through, well, hopefully you have a teammate here to like protect you and kill for you, right? But like they still can't enter the rest of the enemy team. They can't just like flood through here because you will R them, and you will like take all of them. Like you take a bunch of HP from them, right? So yeah, anyone can dash out because of the time. Yeah, the perfect R's only come every like the montage R's only come every like so many games, so you have to like hunt for them, right? Does this video load? Yes. This is just one where like it shows like the travel time. It shows like not even thinking. Like look. Let's look at that again. That was painful. That's a rushed R right there. This thing. Okay, well that's not fun. No. Yeah. Okay, fine. So that comes from rushing R. That comes from like I don't know. This happened to me for a while too, where I would go for an R. Now it's in my ball because it looks like there's a bunch of people here, but by the time the ball already arrives, they've all just kind of like gently walked away from that perfect position. Because the ball has travel time, you gotta take that into account. You can't just like press Q immediately R, right? Because travel time. The ball travel time ruins it. So if you see people in a perfect position, but your ball's not already traveling, it's too late, right? It's way too late. Like maybe they stay in that position and you can look for it, but just like confirm the R. Make sure that there's people in the radius. Make sure people are actually in the radius before you R, right? And speaking about R usage, this has just turned into like a bunch of R usage and team fight stuff. R usage, especially because like Ori, like you are your R pretty much in team fights. Like that is how you do stuff. You R pretty much you're an alt bot. You peel and you like retreating, but always dealing damage on the retreat, where they have to chase you, and every time they chase you, they take more and more damage until you can just turn and get them anyways, right? So like that's why I like phase rush. I'm a phase rush enjoyer over Airy. That's awful writing, but I'm a phase rush enjoyer over Airy personally. And so how to use R? Obviously, the Wombo combo, our favorite. You press R on like 4 of their team. Easy win of the team fight, right? You've got Peel, which is when you've recognized, hey, I'm pretty sure the Fed ADC is the win con. Maybe if I just keep her alive, because let's be honest, most ADCs. I'm thinking of Jinx right now. If I just like keep the ADC alive, we win the fight, right? Maybe you kind of need to look for it for like engage, where like if you can hit a good R, your team can like really just like follow up, and just like actually like they just have like great follow up. What would be an example? I'm trying to think. If you are you are into like an Annie support R into like your team, just like Annie can like flash R, your R, and then boom, the enemy team is just taking a bunch of damage. They've all been CC'd for like what, 2 seconds or something. Like you just went off of that, so you can use your R as sort of like an engage. And the thing is, it's different every game. You'll have to think about it every game. That's why you gotta use your lull states to think, what is my role in the team comp? Is your main job like, are you the damage dealer? Are you kind of peeling? Are you kind of a hybrid? So in team comp, how to play fights, like what to avoid. Fights. R usage, stuff like that, right? Because Orianna is very big on like, you need extremely good Rs, right? Like You need them. You're half a champion without them. And so I think I have one final clip for here to show, unless I don't. Here we go. Let's all just watch this. Okay, this isn't, these aren't my clips that I'm taking. First of all, just notice, I really like this how this Orianna plays. It's a divided team fight, and she is just like, she's making sure she's getting out of there, right? Like, I don't know, I just enjoy it. I was just really surprised with that. Look, the ball just sat there. Look again, look again. She sent the Q out, and like people just ran into it, and then she was able to clean up from there, right? Look at that. That was amazing. And then I still don't know how to and then final thoughts. Let's go. Let's see. Yeah. So Orianna, very big on kiting back. Like if we saw in that last scene, Garen walked up, she ran back. Then when Garen goes forward, that's when she goes forward. It's like it's just a dance. You just, the second people touch you, look. You're like a porcelain doll. Look at this. Wow. You're like a porcelain doll. You well, like a glass cannon, right? You can dish out a ton of damage. You can really peel well. You can do quite a bit, but break super easy. If Garen ever got on top of her, she just kind of died, right? And if she mispositioned, she might have to use her R to peel for herself, right? So maybe that's also part of, like, if you're having to use your R to save yourself a lot in team fights, even in lane sometimes, that shows like there's another problem there. Most likely positioning, right? Or getting like tunnel visioned on getting like a great R that you walk too far forward, or getting a little bit of poke that you walk too far forward and the enemy team's just able to run you over, right? So just be careful if you're using your R defensively. And small wins. Orianna's all about the small wins. Never, I just want to circle this so you understand. Never flash aggressively, please. Your Orianna. If you don't have flash, again, you're kind of dead. Because if people touch you once, you're just kind of dead, right? And so I'm excited for the cosmic changes. I want to try those out. Haven't been able to because I've been really busy. But just please don't do it. Don't like flash forward for a Q kill, right? Like, because your Q forever to travel. So if you flash forward and like your Q's behind you, you're just not getting. Oh man, flash is your lifeline. If anyone touches you, you're dead. Look, past me was so smart. Knows. Flash is your lifeline. You cannot play remotely the same way if you don't have flash. You have to play way more scared. And phase rush really helps you because it gives you that speed. It lets you move around. Cosmic as well. I'm excited for Cosmic. I want to see, because that gives you movement speed, right? Ludens gives you a little bit of a movement speed boost. And then you go like Seraphs, right? Obviously not in this order. I'm writing in a weird order. First you go like Luden, Seraphs. Anyways. That's why movement speed is so valuable on Orianna. Because if you can just like move out of the way and not get murdered, you know, like it's just kind of blows your mind just how much. So all that to say is just kind of think. People respond to the Q, like to the ball in mostly the same way. They try to avoid it. But if it's not moving, they really just forget about it because they're so used to like the thing about like character models. They're so used to thinking about like abilities and stuff. They're not even using their lull states. They're not even doing anything. So they forget about it if this is still. Just like in the previous clip. It's amazing. Just keep your ball still and people will run into it. Good luck in your future games. Just remember, on Orianna, if you're dying more than like 2 or 3 times a game, 2 to 3 more times a game, the game loss is probably your fault. Like, you shouldn't be dying. Can't die plenty of times. You're not a Scion. You're not even like a Singed or anyone. You can't die a lot and still be useful. So good luck in your Orianna games. If any of you guys have any tips or things you've noticed with Orianna, ball usage, all of that, just let me know. Thank you so much.